Imagine you close your eyes for just a second. Maybe you are falling asleep on your couch. Maybe you are walking through a door. And then you open them again. But nothing is right. The floor under you is dirt. The air smells like smoke and animals and something sour you cannot name. There is no electricity. There is no humming of a refrigerator. There is no traffic. Just birds and wind, and somewhere far away, a bell. You are outside. Or maybe inside a structure made of wood and mud? You do not know. Your phone is dead. Your watch has stopped. And the people around you, if there are any, are wearing clothes that belong in a museum. You have not traveled to a Renaissance fair. You have not stumbled onto a movie set. Something impossible has happened. You are in the year 1000, and the question is no longer how you got here. The question is whether you will survive the next week. Because the year 1000 is not a vacation. It is one of the most dangerous places a modern human body can end up. And almost everything you do instinctively will be wrong. So take a breath. Stop panicking. Because panic is the first thing that kills people in unfamiliar environments. You have one enormous advantage over every person alive around you. You have knowledge. You know things about the world that no one here has even imagined. The trick is using that knowledge without getting yourself killed. This is your survival guide. The most unlikely survival guide you will ever need. Let us figure out where you are. The year 1000 is not one place. It is many places, and they are all different. If you are in England, you are in the late Anglo-Saxon kingdom, ruled by a king named Ethelred. People call him Ethelred the Unready, which actually means poorly advised, not unprepared. If you are in France or much of Western Europe, you are in a fragmented world of lords and villages, nominally under a king but really run locally. If you are in the Middle East, you are near the height of Islamic Golden Age science, where scholars are doing mathematics and astronomy that would astonish you. If you are in China, you are in the Song Dynasty, possibly the most advanced civilization on the planet. But statistically, if you appeared where most English speakers live today, you are somewhere in rural Western Europe. That means small villages. That means forests and fields. That means a world where 90% of people are peasants who never travel more than a few miles from where they were born. There are no clocks telling you the hour. Time is measured by the sun and by church bells. There are no maps you could read. There are no street signs. The concept of a nation-state barely exists. People identify with their village, their lord, their parish. This matters because it tells you something critical. You are not in a world of strangers who will help you. You are in a world of tight-knit communities where everyone knows everyone, and where an unknown person is automatically suspicious. So your first job is not to build a time machine. Your first job is to not be killed on sight. Here is your first real problem. You do not speak the language. And I do not mean you do not speak French. I mean you do not speak Old English. You do not speak Old French. You do not speak whatever dialect of West Germanic or Romance is floating around your village. The English you know is about 1,000 years away from existing. If you walked up to an Anglo-Saxon peasant in the year 1000 and said, "Hello, how are you?" they would stare at you like you were speaking Martian. The words are different. The grammar is different. The sounds are different. You would recognize maybe a handful of words. Water, house, man, woman. And even those would sound wrong. So what do? You listen. For the first days you say almost nothing. You observe. You point. You nod. You smile. Humans are extraordinarily good at communicating without words when they have to. You can gesture toward bread. You can mime drinking. You can show that you are cold by wrapping your arms around yourself. People will think you are simple or mute, or perhaps a wandering holy person who has taken a vow of silence. Any of those is safer than being a foreigner who speaks in tongues. Over weeks you will start to absorb words. Children are your best teachers.
Yes.
They are curious, they are less suspicious,
Please.
and they
No,
will repeat
not
words
that
for you
mountain.
without
The
mocking.
other one.
Learn the names of things first. Bread, water, fire, sleep. Yes, no. Learn the names of people. Learn who is in charge. Language will come, but slowly, and you must be patient. Do not try to write anything down to communicate. Literacy is nearly non-existent. If you start writing strange symbols, you are a sorcerer. If you draw a map, you are suspicious. Stay quiet. Stay small. Listen. Right now, you are standing in a field or a forest, and you need a plan. Forget everything about finding your way back. You have no idea how you arrived, and you have no mechanism to reverse it. Soon you are here permanently. Your priorities in order are shelter, water, warmth, and not being noticed by anyone dangerous. If it is daytime, look for smoke. Smoke means a hearth, and a hearth means people. Do not walk directly into a village. Observe from a distance. Watch the rhythms. When do people go to the fields? When do they return? Where is the well? Where do the children play? You need water within hours. You can survive days without food, but dehydration will break you fast. Find a stream. Drink from moving water, never from a still pond. You do not know about bacteria, but you do know that still water makes people sick, and moving water is safer. This is knowledge the locals also have, so it will not mark you as strange. Warmth is critical. If night falls and you have no fire, you are at risk of exposure even in summer. Nights are cold. People die of hypothermia at temperatures you would consider mild. Find shelter out of the wind. Barn, a haystack, the edge of a forest. Do not break into a structure. That is theft, and theft in this world costs you a hand or your life. Stay on the margins. Be invisible. Your goal for the first day is simply to not die and not be caught. You can figure out everything else tomorrow. But tomorrow you will need to eat. And that is where things get complicated. You are hungry. Everything you know about food is about to become useless. There are no supermarkets. There are no refrigerators. There are no labels, no expiration dates, no ingredient lists. What you eat is what grows around you and what you can take from animals. Bread is the center of everything. It is dark, heavy, coarse, and nothing like what you buy today. It is often made from rye or barley, not wheat. It is dense and it will fill your stomach, but your body is not used to it. Expect stomach pain. Expect your digestion to rebel for weeks. It is safer than water, and everyone drinks it, including children. It is weak, barely alcoholic, and the brewing process kills most pathogens. This is not your beer. It is a survival drink. You know this. The locals do not know why ale is safer. They just know that water makes people sick sometimes. You know why. That knowledge is quiet, but it is the first piece of modern science that is already keeping you alive. Do not eat anything you do not recognize. Mushrooms, berries, roots. The forests are full of things that will kill you slowly and painfully. Watch what the locals eat and eat that. If they cook it, cook it. If they avoid it, avoid it. One critical rule: never eat raw meat. Never drink unpasteurized milk straight from the animal if you can help it. You know about pasteurization. You know about germs. People around you do not. Milk can carry tuberculosis. Pork can carry parasites. Undercooked food is a slow killer. Cook everything thoroughly. This is the single most important health habit you can maintain, and it will save your life more than any other modern knowledge you carry in your head. Now we come to the thing that will most likely kill you. Not violence. Starvation. Disease. You're walking into a world of pathogens your body has never encountered. Your immune system has been trained by vaccines and antibiotics and a sanitized modern environment. It is strong in some ways, but it is naked against the everyday infections of the 11th century. Dysentery is everywhere. It spreads through contaminated water and poor sanitation. It kills through dehydration, sometimes in days. Typhoid is a constant threat. Cholera will appear in contaminated water sources. Tetanus lives in the soil and enters through any cut, any wound, any scrape. There is no vaccine. There is no antibiotic. A splinter can kill you. Let that sink in. A splinter, a blister, a scratch from a thorn can become infected, and that infection can become sepsis. And sepsis means death. You must treat every wound as a potential emergency. Clean it. Clean it with boiled water. Keep it clean. Cover it. Do not let dirt enter. Do not touch it with dirty hands. Your hands are the most dangerous thing in your immediate environment. You know about germs. The people around you do not even have the concept. They believe disease comes from bad air, from sin, from the alignment of the stars. You know better. Wash your hands. Wash them constantly, especially before eating and after handling anything dirty. Use water, use soap if you can find or make it. Boil water before drinking it whenever possible. This one habit, boiling your water, will reduce your disease risk more than any medicine that exists in this century. You cannot explain why you do it. Do not try. Just do it quietly, consistently, and you will outlive the people around you. People think the medieval world was filthy. That is a simplification. People did bathe, they did wash, but the standards are far below yours, and the understanding of contamination does not exist. You will be tempted to overcorrect, to clean everything, to scrub every surface, to demand standards no one understands. Resist that. If you become obsessively clean in a way that marks you as strange, you draw attention. Attention is dangerous. Instead, practice quiet hygiene. Wash your hands when no one is watching, or frame it as a personal habit or a religious ritual. People respect ritual. If you say you wash before meals because of a personal devotion, no one questions it. Keep your living space as clean as you can without being conspicuous. Keep feces away from your food and water. This sounds obvious, but in a world without plumbing, human waste is everywhere, and it contaminates everything. You know the connection between waste and disease. No one else does. Use that knowledge silently. Choose your sleeping spot carefully. Do not sleep near latrines. Do not draw water from downstream of where people dump waste. Find the cleanest water source and stick to it. Brush your teeth if you can. Your modern teeth, raised on fluoride and dental care, are better than anything around you. Protect them. Once a tooth goes bad here, it goes bad forever, and tooth infections kill people. Do not chew ice. Do not crack nuts with your teeth. Your mouth is one of your most vulnerable systems, and dental care is non-existent. Treat your body like the irreplaceable machine it is. There are no spare parts. You look wrong. Your clothes are wrong. Your posture, your manner, everything about you screams outsider. If you arrived in modern clothing, you need to change immediately. Your synthetics and zippers are incomprehensible and alarming. Find linen or wool. It will be rough and scratchy and you will hate it. Wear it anyway. Tunic, hose, simple cloak. Watch how people dress and copy them exactly. Do not stand out. Your haircut is wrong. Your grooming is wrong. If you are clean-shaven with short hair, you may look like a monk, which can be useful or dangerous depending on where you are. Observe and adapt. Customs matter more than clothes. When do people bow? When do they remove their hats if they have them? How do they greet each other? You must learn the social choreography, because violating it marks you instantly. Religion is the most important social structure in this world. The church is everywhere. It is the calendar, the clock, the school, the hospital, the court, and the moral authority all at once. You cannot avoid it. You must participate, at least outwardly. You know the sign of the cross. Make it when others do. Bow your head during prayers, even if you do not know the words. Attend services. Do not argue theology. Do not reveal that you come from a world with a different relationship to religion. That conversation does not end well for you. Heresy is a real charge with real consequences, and the definition is wide and flexible. Be pious, be quiet, be ordinary. The safest identity is a simple, uneducated wanderer who has taken a vow of silence and is traveling as a pilgrimage. It explains your silence, your strange accent when you do speak, your ignorance of local customs, and your reluctance to discuss your past. It is a nearly perfect cover story. Use it. Here is the line you must never cross. You have knowledge that is dangerous. Not because it is wrong, but because it is too right. If you start predicting things accurately, if you cure diseases no one can cure, if you demonstrate an understanding of the natural world that exceeds what the local scholars possess, you will become remarkable. Remarkable is the first step toward accused. In the year 1000, the formal witch trials you imagine do not exist yet. Paranoia comes later in the 14th century and beyond. But suspicion of the unnatural, of the demonic, of people who know too much, is already alive. If you are too clever, you are in league with dark forces. If you are too successful, someone else's misfortune is your fault. The most dangerous thing you can do is attribute your knowledge to yourself. Never say, I know how to heal this. Always say, I saw this done by a healer in a faraway land. Frame everything as tradition, as folklore, as something you learned from a wise old woman in a distant village. People respect distant traditions. They fear local innovation. Never perform anything that looks like a parlor trick. Do not demonstrate optics. Do not show prisms. Do not make fire with a lens in public. Do not write equations. These are the acts of a sorcerer in the eyes of the people around you. Keep your miracles small and frame them as luck, as prayer, as the will of God. If someone recovers after you cleaned their wound and boiled their bandages, do not claim credit. Say it was God's mercy. Humility is your armor. The moment you become known as a healer, you become a target. When someone dies on your watch, and someone will, the gratitude of yesterday becomes the accusation of today. Stay small, stay quiet, stay unremarkable. Your survival depends on being forgettable. Now the part you have been waiting for. What can you actually do with modern knowledge that will make your life better without getting you killed? Start with fire. You know that a lens can focus sunlight into a point hot enough to ignite tinder. A piece of glass, a clear ice sphere, even a water-filled bottle can start a fire without flint or friction. This is magic to people around you. Do not show it off. Use it privately. It saves you time and effort, and it marks you as resourceful rather than supernatural, as long as no one sees the lens. Next, water. You understand boiling. You understand filtration. You can build a simple filter with sand, charcoal, and cloth. You can dig a well away from contamination. You can design a basic latrine system that keeps waste away from water. None of this requires technology that does not exist here. It requires only knowledge, and knowledge is invisible. You can improve crop yields without anyone understanding how. You know about crop rotation. You know that planting the same crop in the same soil year after year depletes it. You know that legumes put nitrogen back into the soil. You know about composting. You can suggest, gently as if it were old wisdom, that the fields be rotated and that certain plants be grown together. Over years, your fields will outperform the neighbors. People will attribute it to luck, to blessing, to hard work. They will not attribute it to science, because science as a concept does not exist yet. You know, basic engineering. You understand the wheel, the lever, the pulley, the arch. You can suggest improvements to tools, to water mills, to simple machines. You know about the flywheel, about gears, about water power. You can build a better water mill. You can improve a forge with a better bellows design. Each of these improvements is small and plausible, and within the materials available. You are not introducing gunpowder or electricity. You are optimizing what already exists, and that is the safest way to become valuable. Value without suspicion, usefulness without mystery. That is your path to a better life. You cannot survive alone. A lone stranger with no family, no lord, no parish is the most vulnerable person in this society. You need to become part of a community. That means you need a role. Labor is the easiest entry point. You are healthy, you are strong, you can work. Offer to help in the fields, to chop wood, to carry water. People will test you. Your hands are soft. You do not know how to swing a scythe. Be honest about your inexperience and humble about learning. A person willing to learn is more trustworthy than one who pretends to know everything. Over time, your usefulness will earn you a place. You will be the person who always boils water, the person whose bread never molds as fast, the person whose cuts never fester. No one will understand why, but they will notice patterns, and patterns build reputation. Reputation is the currency of the medieval world. More than money, more than title, what people say about you determines your safety. If you are known as honest, hardworking, and pious, you are protected by community trust. If someone accuses you of something, your neighbors will defend you because you are one of them. If you are a stranger who keeps to yourself and does strange things, no one will speak for you, and that is when accusations become fatal. Find a patron if you can. A local lord, a priest, a wealthy farmer, someone who benefits from your labor and your clever ideas. A patron provides protection. They have an interest in keeping you alive and well because you are useful to them. This is not friendship in the modern sense. It is a transactional relationship, and it is one of the most powerful structures in this world. Understand it. Use it. Do not confuse it for loyalty. There are things you know that you must never share, not because they are wrong, but because they are too dangerous. Do not introduce gunpowder. You might know the formula. Sulfur, charcoal, saltpeter. In the wrong hands, in the wrong century, this is a weapon of war that will change the balance of power and make you a target of every lord who wants it. You do not want that attention. Do not introduce advanced metallurgy. Do not attempt to build a blast furnace. Do not try to make steel in quantities that exceed what exists. The technology itself is not the problem. The problem is that whoever controls it controls power, and you do not control power. You are a stranger with no army. Do not introduce the printing press. It seems harmless, it seems noble, but it threatens every authority structure in the world. The church, the lords, the scholars, they will not thank you. They will fear you. Do not reveal the future. Do not tell people that a Norman invasion is coming in 66 years if you are in England. Do not predict the Black Death. Do not describe America. Prophecy is dangerous. If you are right, you are a threat. If you are wrong, you are a fraud. If you are right and someone powerful believes you, you become a weapon or a prisoner. There is no version of this that ends well for you. Keep your knowledge of the future to yourself. It is useless here and lethal if shared. The only knowledge that is safe is knowledge that looks like ordinary cleverness. Better farming, better hygiene, better tools. Things that could be attributed to experience and hard work. Nothing that screams, I am from another time. Your greatest asset is restraint. The temptation to show off, to prove how smart you are, to change the world will be enormous. Resist it. The world does not want to be changed by you, and it will punish the attempt. If you make it through the first year, your odds improve dramatically. Your body begins to adapt. Your gut adjusts to the food. Your immune system encounters the local pathogens and, if you are lucky, builds some resistance. You have survived the most dangerous period. Now you can think about thriving, not just surviving. Learn to read and write in Latin if you can find a literate person to teach you. Literacy is power. It is the domain of the church, and access to it grants you a kind of status that physical labor never will. A person who can read is a person who can work in records, in correspondence, in the administration of a lord's estate. That position comes with food, shelter, and protection. If you can secure it, you have escaped the life of a peasant, and that is no small thing. Accumulate small advantages. Better knife, a reliable fire starter, stash of clean cloth for bandages, second set of clothes. Each small advantage compounds. In a world where most people own almost nothing, owning a few useful things makes you resilient. Save seeds from your best crops. Over years, you can breed better varieties than your neighbors, and no one will understand why your harvests are better. Build relationships. The real currency of this world is not silver, it is trust. Network of people who owe you favors, who depend on you, who would notice if you disappeared. That is your safety net. Marry if you can. A family anchors you. It makes you normal, it makes you part of the community, and it gives you a reason to keep going when the loneliness becomes unbearable. This world is lonely in ways you cannot imagine. No internet, no books in your language, no one who shares your frame of reference. You will miss your world acutely, and that grief is a real threat to your survival. Find purpose. Build something. Raise children. Teach them what you know. carefully, selectively. You are planting seeds that will grow long after you are gone. That is how you endure. So here you are, a year in, maybe 5 years in, maybe the rest of your life. You stopped waiting to go back. You stopped waking up expecting your phone to ring. You have become someone else, a person this world made, while holding on to the knowledge the old world gave you. You boil your water. You rotate your crops. You keep your wounds clean. You bow your head in church. You hold your tongue when you know something no one around you could believe. And slowly, quietly, you have built a life. You are not a king. You are not a wizard. You are not a hero from a story. You are a person who survived, and in the year 1000, that is an extraordinary achievement. Most people in this world do not live past 40. If you make it to 50, you have beaten the odds. If you make it to 60, you are remarkable. Every additional year is borrowed time, and you know it, because you understand disease and infection and mortality in a way no one around you does. Understanding is both your shield and your burden. You see death coming in ways others cannot. You know which fevers are dangerous and which are not. You know when a wound is going septic and when it is healing. You carry the anxiety of that knowledge every day, but you also carry gratitude. You know how close you came to dying in those first weeks. You know how many small decisions, how many quiet habits, how many acts of restraint kept you alive. You did not change the world. You did not introduce democracy or electricity or antibiotics. You chose to survive, and survival meant becoming invisible, becoming ordinary, becoming part of something larger than yourself. That is not a failure. That is the wisest thing you could have done. The knowledge you carried was a library, and most of it was too dangerous to open. But the few pages you used, the ones about clean water and clean wounds and clean hands, those pages saved your life. And maybe, if you are careful, they saved a few lives around you too. You will never be remembered by history. No one will know you came from another time. But you will have lived.